Donald Trump wants desperately for us to pay attention to anything but his Epstein scandal, and the opposite has happened. After Donald Trump freaked out on Truth Social yesterday, blaming Barack Obama, somehow there were more searches of his name with Jeffrey Epstein than ever before. And the insane video he just put out on Truth Social has seen more Epstein comments and scandals erupt. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into that insane video that Trump posted, I want to see how he and his MAGA loyalists are trying to distract our focus because it's actually pretty important.
Just to wrap up here, you're talking about people not remembering. I don't think anyone will ever forget President Donald J. Trump. But when history looks back on this time in our country, when history looks back on you, how would you like to be remembered?
A good person, but a person that saved our country. I really believed our country was going down for the fall. I don't know if it ever could have come back. It was very close to the edge. And I really would like to be known as the man that saved our country.
Well, I think you've started off on the right track there.
So far.
Well,
Donald Trump desperately wants MAGA to love him again. He's begging to be their cult leader, willing to say or do anything to win them back. That's why he attacked Rosie O'Donnell and blamed Obama, Biden, and Comey. He just needs an excuse to get back in MAGA's good graces. We saw this with him playing up the anniversary of the assassination attempt, and it really backfired. This clip is right here.
People that are shooters, I'm not so much of a shooter, but people that were shooters say it's almost impossible that that was a miss. I mean, it was a hit, but it was a miss. Although I do get that throbbing feeling every once in a while.
Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Not only is Trump saying God saved him, but he also posted a video of an angel supposedly redirecting the bullet. But if so, did God mean for it to hit a volunteer firefighter? MAGA claims God wanted Trump spared even if someone else died. Trump is just hyping this to distract and make MAGA remember the good times. He acts like a bad ex, promising gifts and cruelty to win them back. Let's take a look at this insane video clip and the reactions.
Donald was the young man who was going to conquer Manhattan.
He takes chances that would make a less daring man shudder.
To think about the arc of where he's been in, it's like some sort of mythical story or something.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged.
My God, that guy's got resilience.
Those who deal with you underestimate you and live to regret it.
It's always good to be underestimated. It is not about politics. It's about our love for this great country, America, and we're not going to let it fail. I will fight like no one has ever fought before.
Trump is the bodyguard of Western civilization.
You want to talk about a fighter who walked in fire? He's an absolute savage.
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. And the future belongs to us.
Donald Trump's attempt to get back in the good graces of MAGA failed, as the comments below that video read, "We want the pedos exposed. Release the Epstein files. We, the people's voice, will only continue to grow louder." Another comment read, "Don't let Epstein be the stain of your presidency. Fix it." And someone else, with a really accurate assessment, wrote, "You are the most insecure man who ever lived." Even Donald Trump's own social media platform is no longer safe for him. That's how bad that it's gotten. Truth Social used to just be crazy Facebook uncle memes, cultists praising whatever nonsense post Donald Trump made. Now, it's just like it's the demand the Epstein list party. It's insane how everything has flipped on Donald Trump in only a matter of a week. And it should really show you how scared he is that he is clinging to Pam Bandy. He knows that this is all ultimately going to end up hurting him, and there's no scapegoat that he can find. If he could, and if he thought it would be Bandy, he would have already gotten rid of her. He just knows that she will continue to take the blame, and he can try to use her as the beating post, and he needs someone in the way of all of his disasters. And there are many more than just this. And Governor Andy Basher ripped into some of those on Meet the Press today.
I'm seeing small businesses lay people off because of the tariffs on the raw materials that they get. And then Americans put things together and sell them from that. And when a small business is laying somebody off, it's somebody they go to church with. It's somebody who their kids play soccer with. This is going to impact the economy in such negative ways, especially our economy. And then look at what he's doing to critical trading partners like Canada. 22% of our exports go to Canada, or Japan, who he's pushing towards China. Japan invests in Kentucky at a level of almost no other state. You know, the largest Toyota manufacturing facility isn't in Japan, it's in Georgetown, Kentucky.
Well, which takes me to my next question. Staying on the economy, let's talk about, broadly speaking, the president's new tax and spending law, which just went into effect. You heard my conversation with Senator John Barrasso about the work requirements, the estimates that it could kick millions of people off of Medicaid. But you know, Governor, a poll taken this year shows 6 in 10 Americans support work requirements for Medicaid. You've been very clear in your opposition to work requirements, but my question, are Democrats out of step with where the American public is on this issue?
No, because the work requirements are a ruse. What they're doing is they're doubling the paperwork on everyone, not just able-bodied adults, but everyone. What they're hoping is sadly, is that parents with a special needs child who are really busy don't check a box. People who are helping their parents or grandparents with their long-term care needs don't check a box. And then they get kicked off their coverage for 6 months or more. It is wrong, it's cruel, but it's also going to be devastating to rural economies. In my state, we're looking at 200,000 people projected to lose their coverage. 20,000 healthcare workers are going to get fired because of this bill, and 35 rural hospitals, each the second largest employer in their county, may close. What that means is fewer people getting that tax break, fewer people going to the local restaurant, fewer people going to the local bank. This is going to hit rural America to give a tax break mainly to wealthy people who live in urban areas. It's going to hit all over the United States. It is a betrayal of rural America.
Well, it is undoubtedly going to be a major flashpoint as we head towards the midterms. And I do want to talk to you about the future of the Democratic Party. House Republicans launched an investigation, as you know, into Democrats' handling of the state of former President Biden's mental acuity while he was in office. I wonder, Governor, do you think that there needs to be accountability for how Democrats handled the president's mental health while he was in office?
Well, when you're the governor of Kentucky, you see a president maybe twice a year. So what I think is that we ought to be, Democrats, Republicans, etc., accountable for everything we do. We serve the American people. And so we should be judged by not only our actions, but our results. But in the end, it's this political football that we see going back and forth where a win for one is a loss for another. What we've got to get to is a place where we put the people first and we focus on jobs, infrastructure, public safety, public education, and health care, and make sure all the distractions are pushed to the side. You know, so much of what's thrown at people day after day, especially in the news, it makes them think that they don't count, that they're not important, when what they care about the most is supporting their family. I remember being on a bus with a bus driver who was telling me exactly how much her groceries cost every month that she could barely afford. But she also knew exactly how much the vacation cost that she couldn't. That's where the American people want us to focus.
But Governor, I guess just very quickly, does this investigation on Capitol Hill, do you think it's important in terms of helping to restore some of the trust that was lost in Democrats in 2024?
I think the way we restore trust in Democrats is to show the American people that we are laser focused on their everyday needs, that we are not distracted by other issues, but that we know that paying the bills at the end of the month is way too hard. It's too tough for that new couple to afford their first new home. People are worried about paying for their child's next prescription, and some people don't feel safe in their communities. That's where they want us to be, and that's where my focus is.
All right, well, speaking of your focus, I want to ask you about your focus and your future. You are serving your last term as governor. You have a trip to South Carolina coming up this week, of course, the early voting state there. So Senator John Barrasso says you're running for president. Are you?
What I'm doing right now is trying to be a reasonable voice out there that hopefully doesn't just bring Democrats back together, but Democrats, Republicans, and independents. You know, this country has gotten far too partisan, too much us versus them. If we can focus on the core issues that lift up every single American, then we can actually move not right or left, but forward as a country. There ain't no such thing as a red job or a blue job. A job is just good for all Americans.
Governor, is it accurate to say you are considering running for president?
Well, right now, what I'm trying to do is speak out for my people and for the American people, especially with this attack on rural America and the big, ugly bill. Next year, I'm the head of the Democratic Governors Association, and because of this attack on rural America, we're going to win a lot of races that people aren't expecting, because a lot of Republican governors have said nothing, and their economies are going to get hit, and their people are going to have to drive 2 hours just to see a doctor when they're sick, whether they're covered by Medicaid or private insurance. And then after that, you know, we'll see. I would have never considered this a couple years ago, but I will not leave a broken country to my kids or to anyone else's. And so if I'm somebody that at that point that I believe that I can heal the country, then I'll take a look at it.
Okay, so definitely not ruling it out there. Governor Beshear, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Some say the Epstein story is a distraction, but it shows Trump betrayed his own base. If he can turn on them, what else will he do? Democrats should use this to expose him and divide MAGA. We are certainly going to be talking about it on this show. Thanks for watching this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.